Well, hello, and welcome to our podcast, Faith and Flow. I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Larry Macon. I'm the pastor of the Mount Zion Church in Oakwood Village, president of the United Pastors in Mission, and we're so glad to have you. Today we have one of the best singers in America. At one time we had Mahalia Jackson. Well, this lady has taken Mahalia Jackson's spot. And one time we had Aretha Franklin, Queen of Soul. Well, the Queen of Soul is in the spirit of this, my guest, Darnicia Marie Dillard. And she comes to us to share some vital information that you want to know with regards to what's going on in your world today. Darnicia has a master's and a bachelor's, a master in business from the Ursuline College. And she's also an educator and academic, but she's coming today also as an entertainer. She has more than 20 years in that field, but I believe that she started singing when she was 5 years of age, back in her mother's house. So welcome to the show, Darnicia.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you for having me.
And can I call you Darnicia?
You can call me Darnicia. You can call me Dee. They call me Dee at work.
Oh, great. So Dee, tell us something about yourself. Where did you grow up at? And all of those kinds of things.
Well, I am part of a military family, so I was over in Germany on an army base up until I was 10 years old. And then at 10 years of age, my family came back here to Ohio, and I was I was raised right on 93rd and Etna with my grandmother, Bertha Nunn.
Wow, so you were in Germany as a young kid, so you're part German.
No, I'm American.
Oh, you're American.
Yeah.
You're part German by experience.
By experience.
Did you learn German language?
They did teach us German and English, and I can still read the language very well and understand it. I can't speak it as much anymore.
Wow, that's great. So you grew up not far from me. I grew up on 116 in Kinsman, and you're not far from 116. You were over there on 93rd?
In Etna.
In Etna. My aunt used to stay over there on Avon Avenue.
My grandmother used to be your mail carrier.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So she knew me when I was a bad kid. Did she tell you all the things I used to do when I was back there in those days? I'm glad she kept that private because we made a pact that she wouldn't tell us anything until we both get into heaven. We'll ask Jesus about it then. So Darnicia, when did you get interested in the education academic place to helping kids? I'm to understand you are a superintendent also.
Yes, that's a new title now.
What's the schools you're?
I am a part of a national education field called the Excel Schools Network, and they have schools predominantly. A lot of our site-based schools are here in the United States. We have 120 plus schools. 60 are in Ohio, 30 in southern Ohio, and 30 in Akron, Canton, Cleveland. We have some over in Dubai, in the UK, in Africa. So we are a worldwide education organization under the Pan-Sophic umbrella. And I have been blessed to be elevated into the role of superintendent this school year.
Wow. Well, once you go to Dubai, put me in your suitcase. Because I definitely would like to go over there, and I've talked to the kids for a few moments, but after that, I think I'm going to all those large hotels and see all those beautiful cars going around the city and find that they have a city mayor, I think, over there, a president in Dubai. And I also would love to be in Africa. What part of Africa your schools are in?
I think our school is in Ghana. I would have to double check because there's two in two different African countries, but I don't know those for sure. But it is two.
Well, recently they stopped the U.S. aid. Does that affect your school at all over there in Africa and Dubai at all?
As of right now, nothing has affected us, thankfully, and hopefully that will continue.
Wow. So as an educator, you're working with predominantly and also, it's either predominantly also black kids. Tell us about what are the problems that we're having in those schools and training those young kids, or are we having some problems?
I would say the biggest thing that we're seeing is post-pandemic education. After the pandemic, the learners came back different. The teachers came back different. Everyone is different. And education has to catch up with the learner. The learners became slightly more apathetic. They were home. They weren't interacting with their siblings and their peers as much. So when they came back to school, it was not just educating them with the content, it was getting them educated as far as how they should acclimate to one another and be in community with one another. And I think we'll see the ramifications of how we dealt as Americans with the pandemic for years to come. We're going to see ramifications of that.
So, Darnisha, with the black boys, and I've done a lot of studies on black boys. In fact, my doctoral degree was in African-American males. And so we discovered some years ago that these black boys are having struggles in school, and that in many cases, we're preparing them not for college, but for prison. And at a certain age or a certain school grade, they end up headed to prison as early as the third grade based upon their grades. And the system seems to be preparing them for prisons, and they base some of their statistic on the number of black boys that are failing. What can we do to help these kids, or what are the problems specifically for black males in the greater Cleveland community?
Well, I will say the phenomenon that you're speaking of, Pastor, is the third grade to prison pipeline. And it's a real thing that we see, but it's a real thing that we're actively working against. What we can do, or what's being seen with some of our young boys in school is, they're overly hyper, and we're misdiagnosing them, or we're too quick to put a diagnosis on them, and want to penalize that energy that they have, when we need to find a way to redirect that energy in a positive way inside of the classroom. And many schools do that, ours included, through things like PBIS, which is Positive Behavior Interventions and Supports. And it's shifting a thinking from punitive, and you get a detention or you get suspended, to let's go into a group circle, let's talk about this, let's talk about why you made the decision that you made. What was the trigger or thought process, and what can we do if this happens again to avoid it? And so it's finding ways to rethink teaching, I think, is what we're doing.
So a lot of the teaching is just knowledge, and so often these kids cannot, they don't understand the information as it relates to their life and relates to situation. I remember when I was in school, that wasn't too long ago, but when I was in school, I had a problem with math, English, I had a problem with spelling, I had a whole lot of problems because I could not relate to how does this apply to save money, or how does this apply to businesses? So if I'm going to study math, I want to know, what do I need to know about math in order to have a successful business? When I'm doing English, instead of me telling you what narratives suggest, I need to know, how does that apply to me? Writing my own story and correcting it from that angle. So how do you make these kids understand that what they're learning in school is going to help them in their life situation? How do you get to that point?
Well, Pastor, you spoke of something when you said you didn't understand math and how it related to business and things of that nature. And there's a shift in math education with coming away from more of a procedural, which is how you and I learned math.
Right.
To more conceptualizing, which is what you're talking about. How do I connect this to the concept of me being in business, or the concept of me hiring people, and how do I pay people their wages? And that's financial education. And financial education, fortunately, is a part of the Ohio curriculum now, so it is things that is being taught now, starting at about third grade on up to 12th grade now, that's a part of what we're teaching.
Yeah, well, I'm grateful that you're in a charter school, because what the nation is moving to is, private schools to some degree, and saying that school choice is very, very important. And so if you feel that you're having a problem in the public education, which it could be good or bad, I don't know, but if you don't like that, then you can go to a charter school. Here at Mount Zion, we used to have a Christian school. So you can even go to a Christian school. So tell me, where did you get that beautiful voice that you have? On Sunday mornings, the people be shouting and swaying from side to side and throwing up their hands and running around and dancing to the Spirit of the Lord when Darnisha begins to sing. Where did you get all of that from? How did you learn it? Because I'm sure there's some friends out there who want to be able to sing like you or even make some money.
Listen, there is money to be made in that field, definitely. I, as my grandmother said, I would like to say, rest her soul, came into the world singing, and she said, I haven't shut up since. And so I enjoy music. My grandmother made sure that I was classically taught to play the piano.
Wow.
She made sure that I was involved. Shout out to Rainey Institute on 55th in Cleveland, because she made sure all of her grandchildren went there and took up dance or took up music or classical training, and we did. And I was one of the ones that kept going with it. And music is a way for me to connect with the listener. It's a way for me to connect with who created me and to give back. And I use it as, nowadays, a stress reliever as well.
Well, you sure are connecting with these people out here, because you do a beautiful job on Sunday mornings. And tell me that you're getting ready to go into a concert, and I don't know when this is going to be viewed, but you're going to have a concert here for Good Friday service, and I'm sure the crowd is going to pack out this place, and they're going to be waiting to hear for Darnisha. You have a voice like Mahalia Jackson. I introduced you that way. You sort of look like Mahalia Jackson. And you certainly do understand music very, very well. What else do you do, Darnisha?
Well, I sing, I teach. I enjoy teaching. I kind of fell into teaching because all of my mentors are educators, every single one of them. And they always said I was misplaced. They said, you're in business, but you need to go into education. And so I would find myself educating adults, and then that turned into educating students. But now I see the shift in my life. Shout out to Pastor Larry Macon Jr. that talked about the shift. But the shift in my life, I'm now educating adults and making sure that we are creating viable educators for the future, because we need good educators.
Well, I think that is just great. You know, there's people out there who are looking, there's parents out there who's looking at and watching this podcast. Could you give them at least 3 ideas in order to improve their children in their school and academic years? What would you say to them on 3 accounts?
The first thing I would say is stay connected to your
children. Stay
children.
connected to your children. That means what?
Stay connected. We're letting society through social media raise our boys and girls. Stay connected. It's easy to give them a device to let them go be quiet somewhere and be on the phone or, on a tablet. Get in your children's business, no matter what age they are.
Amen.
Stay connected. In the spirit of connectedness, connect with the school that your child goes to. Understand what they're teaching them and what classes they have to go to and what it means to be successful for the school district that they are a part of.
Yes.
And then lastly, you have to be a lifelong learner as a parent, because the world is changing. So as your child is learning new things that you didn't have access to, learn alongside them so that learning is a part of the home. The home is valuing education and not just the school valuing education.
So we better teach them how to do AI.
You have to.
And that's very important. So, Darnisha, you sing. What song can you give us right now? Throw a hymn out there, throw something out there. What would you sing? What's your best song that you like singing?
How can I say thanks for the things you have done for me? Things so undeserved, yet you gave your life for me. The voices of a million angels could not express my gratitude. All that I am and ever hope to be, I owe it all to thee.
Well, that was beautiful, Darnisha. They're all clapping for you. I thought you was getting ready to sing I Did It My Way. It sounds like I did it my way with Frank Sinatra. You just took me back 2,000 years with old Frank in Nevada. Well, we're grateful to God that you've come for us, Darnisha. We hope you're well. We wish you well. We invite all of you who are looking at us right now to join us at the Mount Zion Church in Oakwood Village, Ohio. You got an 8:30. We have an 8:30 service. We have 11 o'clock service. If you don't want to come inside, we got Radio Church where you can come in with your house shoes and just stay inside the car, enjoy the worship experience, and all throughout the week. So we're grateful to God for having Darnisha here today. Thank you again for being here, and y'all have a blessed day, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you, Tex. You done a good job.